Hey everybody, welcome to OND DND, the talk show about TTRPGs, where we are going to help you roll better, talk better, play better, be better, and get stronger. Whatever it is, we're here to help you. I am Forever DM and lover of long walks on beaches, Hunter.
Best pretender, PC Joey.
Nice.
Pretending to be PC.
You are. And PC pretending to be PC. I hate it. And today, our topic is travel in TTRPGs. Epic journeys or boring downtime? Joey?
Well, luckily Carter's not here.
It'd be another shopping.
No fight for you guys this time.
It'd be another shopping episode debate.
We're gonna have a nice chit chat.
Nice chit chat.
Actually, last time I think it was you and I fighting, so Carter was the bystander that time.
Yes, for combat. Yeah, yeah.
So maybe we'll fight over travel. Who knows?
Maybe, I don't know. We're gonna find out. We'll see how much you hate my DMing skills. That's what all last episode was. You guys hating on me.
Oh my God. Fucking throw this guy a pity party in the comments, please.
Please do. So anyway, travel. We all know what travel is in TTRPGs. Essentially, it's the amount of that.
It's Frodo and Sam taking the ring to Mount Doom.
Yeah, essentially, right?
It's,
I mean, well, actually, hold on. I think there's a little bit of a difference between that.
It's
actually,
leaving Vault 101 and going to find your dad.
So those are, I think, are more examples of the entire journey.
The whole quest.
Yeah, the whole quest, the thing in its whole. But there's the travel, which is like that, which I think is what we're talking about, which is more of like that in between stuff, which is like the amount of time it takes. You leave Vault 101.
I have to go from Vault 101 to Megaton.
Yeah, and that stuff that's in between that. Your quest is to go where you might.
We're leaving the Shire and going to the Prancing Pony.
Yeah, that stuff, right in between. And like how people either do the whole fade to black, you're there, or whether you take every hour and roll for encounters, or if a DM has already stuff prepared for that. Like there's so many different ways to look at and do that travel, but that essentially is where we're gonna be, is the in between. This is those times when I wish we had like animated graphics where it's like the in between, and then just like a line pops up and it shows like the in between. Anyway,
you did it with your hands.
I did. I did it in your mind. But essentially, we'll talk about how different what different things groups do, and what we do, or what we like, what we don't like. What are some tips, some bad stuff, things essentially like that, and then also figure out from you guys whether you think it's fun epic journey stuff or if it's boring downtime. Yeah, I think essentially that's what we're gonna do.
That's what we're gonna do.
That's what we're gonna do. So let's start with a very brief, don't go anything too deep, opinion on travel.
I prefer having travel played out as opposed to fade to black you're there, or describe a montage you're there.
You don't like the montage?
No, I'd rather play out the travel.
Okay.
But I do think that it can get repetitive.
Playing it out. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So in my opinion, I definitely like the play it out. So because there's a little bit of different, right, in the play it out. There's the like encounter every second potential.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then
we're not a minute by minute.
Yeah, or they're minute by minute, hour by hour, 5 hour by 5 hour, whatever it is, right? But I do essentially like the play it out in different versions. I like that more. And then my next thing that I would like or do, if I'm not going to do that, is the montage, like a write a story essentially of the travel. And then my least favorite is the black, the fade to black. It's like I that's the thing I hate probably the most. And I don't. Some people like it. And that's okay.
Like, I understand where you're coming from with the montage, but I think the fade to black might be better for most people because the montage takes away player agency. So that's just the DM like making decisions for your characters in that situation. Like, And even if it's a little thing like, oh, and then, you climb this and blah, 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 that person might be like, yeah, but that's not the approach that I would take if I was.
Sure. Now, I also think that when it comes to choosing what style of travel is going to come down to, I think, also the experience of your players.
Mm-hmm.
Very experienced players will love to have that player agency and make the decision for things. Brand new players might not know what they want, so a DM taking the initiative to sort of what they've learned about that character to write something might come, they might like that. They might not like that. It's I think that's also a line to play there as well. But I do get the point of the taking the player agency. Like, I write a whole thing of like, this is how it goes. And you're like, well, I think I would have done this instead. Oh, well, this is what I wrote. So this is what you're doing.
Yeah.
So there's that. But also I think that might come down to like, I wrote the monologue because I wanted this to, I didn't want us to spend this amount of time doing this. So it all, comes down to that kind of stuff. But anyway, so that's our opinions. Let's sort of talk about, how. So we sort of talked about the different travel, the 3 different, maybe 4 different kind of things. Let's talk about how to make travel engaging for players. Let's start there. So what sort of things about because that's what a lot of players will. A big opinion is, I hate the minute to minute. I hate the hour to hour. I just want to get to my long rest, or I don't want any encounters. I just want to go. I just want to finish this day, or whatever it is, because people don't feel it's engaging to them.
I think it's, so you treat travel like you treat other skill challenges in the game, and it's sort of broke down like that, and then you end the day with a role play usually.
Mm-hmm.
And you can mix it in like throughout the day as people are doing the skill challenges while you're on the road or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can have interactions. If short rests come up, you can have interactions. But really what it comes down to is you break camp in the morning. You start your travel. Your travel is skill challenges for the people who are like would lead the party on the road. So if you have rangers, it's probably going to fall to the ranger to find the safe path.
Right.
If you have,
a druid who knows about nature, and
right,
the forest.
And then there could be other things involved too. But depending on like your travel, are you traveling on an airship? Are you traveling like cart and buggy? And then specific players will have, well, maybe the druid has best animal handling, so they have to guide the horse. Or there's issues with a mechanical vehicle you're on, and you have an artificer in your party, so they have to do things. But that's all, like, that'll be your actual travel day, is skill challenges for the players whose skills are based around travel. And I think a lot of those classes feel underwhelming when you play them because a lot of DMs don't do skill challenges during travel. It's just like,
Kinda
okay, you
takes
move
away
and then
from-
you go to the long rest.
Yeah. Takes away from why they made the character.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, the day is usually capped with role play because there's going to be a long rest. You're at camp. So either you're doing watches and you're interacting on those, or you're around the campfire and you're eating, and that's a natural place for you guys to role play and go through character stuff. If you have an NPC with you, that's going to spark more stuff too. It can get repetitive, I think, depending on how many days of travel you have to do.
Yeah.
Because like there's only so much you're going to want to reveal from your character as you like get to know these knuckleheads that you're traveling with.
Right.
Or maybe you're very open and you just, you want to have those interactions every day. So it'd be less of an issue for those players, but I think there is a chance there. And like, anyway, that's the cusp of the.
Yeah. I think, so essentially the idea is the question is, how do we make it more engaging for players? And like you said, it's sort of broken down to the different things. And by breaking it down, you give players the chance to do what they made their character for. Because, like, let's say, you do a campaign where you're in a city, but someone's like, oh, I'm a person from the forest and I've come to the city, blah, blah, blah. And then you finally get a chance to go outside of the city and travel, and you're just like, okay, you're there. It's like, oh, well, this is kind of my domain. I want
my time to shine.
Yeah, it's my domain. I want to be able to like do things out here. So it's important. It's not always about, oh, it's going to take too long. Like you can speed it up while still making it intriguing.
Yeah, you're not actually playing out 8 hours of travel over 8 hours.
Yeah.
It's like 10 minutes of skill challenges
and
then, maybe another 5 or 10 minutes of role play at the end of the day.
Yeah. And so, and how you've called out how I do it before, I essentially take every day and split it into 3 bits.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like you have your morning, you have your midday, and then you have your nighttime. That's essentially what I do for like every day of like our sessions or campaign. Not every session does all 3 parts. Some sessions do 3 of each of those parts. Some sessions do only literally one of those parts. It all just depends. But essentially, that's how I build what we're doing. So especially for travel, the big thing to do first is to, okay, how many days away is it? It's this many days away. Okay, knowing it's that many days away, we plan for morning, mid, end, morning, mid, end, morning, mid, end, and do like skill check, like you said, and I think another way to make the travel engaging for players specifically, because it's like you were saying, it gets repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
It can be, okay, we just did this. Okay, everybody, do it again. Okay, we roll this. I rolled that. Okay, you're this. We're back at night. Do you want to talk to each other? No. Okay, it's morning again. Make your rolls. The things that DMs can do to help it make it more engaging for players is, so there's the random encounters, right? That's essentially like the midday thing. That's what I use. So if there is one, that's when it happens. Or that's when like more dangerous skill checks come involved or whatever. But it's also a time when DMs can throw in like environmental storytelling stuff. Essentially start throwing in the like
as a DM to describe what your players are moving through and give them a sense of the world.
And that's sort of the not monologue, montage sort of you can write. But
you're still incorporating player agency.
Yeah,
if you're running skill challenges.
Yeah, you make like an ad libs for a montage ad lib.
Right.
And like that's a really good way to do it. But what I have been doing lately, and I don't know if you've noticed it or if anyone else has, but I've been trying to use anytime there's the travel or the in-betweens, whether it's from this side of the city to the other side of the city or here to the cave or whatever it is. Or even I've been doing it in your long rests too a bit, as much as I can, whenever I'm able to. But I use the time to foreshadow stuff. Mm-hmm. Throw in a random thing that's like, okay, why did I see that? Well, I don't know why you saw that. So like that's the sort of the environmental storytelling. It's like you guys are traveling, and then just during that travel, you are like, guys, you're traveling through the forest, and you're hearing the birds, and all of a sudden there's like this grunting, and while you're going down the road, a warthog runs across the road and into the forest, running away like as if it's running from something. And everyone's like, well, I want to know where it's going, or I want to know what it's running from. And then you start getting a little bit of skill checks. And then you can build something off of that, whether it's a quest on the way to the next place or just a literal thing you wanted to implement that does and means nothing but makes the world feel alive. It literally is just something to throw in things that they don't have to be quests. They don't have to be major plot points. They can literally just be the random shit you saw on the way home today on your drive, and you decided to want to put it in your game to make your world feel more alive.
I think as players too, like you can make it more interesting for yourself by having things to do, like planning things to do during travel. Maybe you have a skill book that you're reading. So you can get hours on that, or maybe you're looking to harvest specific items.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, okay, DM, I'm going to veer off the road a little bit and see if I can gather any of these herbs that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And then you get to make your own skill challenge while you're moving. But it gives you something to do too, to keep it engaging for you throughout the day.
Yeah.
Because you might just be the cart guy because the ranger Aragorn is off leading the pack while you're just like the cart guy. So.
Yeah. Now, another thing to sort of mention, too, is we're also very specifically talking about the short travel. Not like the overall travel where it's like, we're going from the south side of the continent to the north side of the continent so we can go fight the ultimate demon lord.
Yeah, and I think that's where you take the opportunity to be like, all right, guys, you're going to travel for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What do you want to do over those 2 weeks. You don't play those out.
Yeah, like that's a very
because usually you're
different
traveling in a safe way when you're doing that too.
thing.
Like
Well-
you're on a ship, or you're on an airship, or you're on
Yeah.
a train. You're on
Yep.
a
Now, the
wagon
other
train.
big thing about that too is making that decision, because this is where you can decide: is it the destination is our campaign, or is the journey a big part of the campaign?
Yeah.
Like, sure, the mission is to go fight the evil demon king up north, but you just, okay, we're there, guys. Are you ready for this?
Yeah,
Oh my
you
God,
might-
we've done
you might
nothing to
leave
prepare. You know,
the starting area at level 3, and the whole campaign might be traveling
to
do
there,
that.
and on the way there, you're
That's where
hitting.
you're getting your levels.
Yeah, you're
and-
hitting cities, you're hitting other little side quests, you're hitting little main quests. Sorry, essentially everything is a side quest on the way to the main quest, but really they're all side quests that are supposed to be helping and prepare you for the main quest.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing too, is deciding whether or not, your journey is a part of the campaign, or if it really means nothing. So that's a big thing. The next thing was so we talked about how to make the travel more endearing, more fun, more interactive, blah, blah. Let's talk about the thing that not everybody loves, which is random encounters.
Yeah, I have to.
And like gaining side quests and things like that from traveling. First, your opinion on the random encounters.
I don't like them.
Don't like them. You're just like, I hate them. Don't like them.
I don't feel like, if you're telling a story, I don't feel like you should be rolling from a chart to decide what happens.
Now, my mind right now, what you're thinking, what I'm thinking you're thinking in your head is the DM just wants to have random encounters, so he picked some
that's
table and he's
exactly
rolling.
what I'm saying. I'm saying that DMs will be like, there's not going to be anything in travel if I don't go, there's wolves. Your level 3 party just died to a wolf pack. What an epic story we've told.
Which is insane. Now, here's the other side of that. There is because you can find random encounter tables and just whatever, roll it. I need random encounters for the forest or for Ilvenglade or for ocean. I think if you're going to do random encounters, is they need to be very specific to what's going on. You can't just say, here's a random forest encounter
It's
table.
always,
I
roll monster. That's what all the tables are, is I roll monster. I think they should be more curated. So they should be curated environmental events to the area. If you're in a really snowy mountain area, like you could randomly have an avalanche, or super cold winds come up and you have to either take shelter, or you're going to start taking like Constitution rolls. And I feel like too many DMs use the random encounter tables as a crutch because they're scared to curate the travel.
I do get the intimidation of curating a random table, because you're trying to think it's a whole job is to think ahead, but you're having to come up with something where you're going to come up with 20 to maybe even 100 different options. And then those players leave that area and never have to use it again. And then you're like, oh, great, I'm going to have to do this again. So I get the intimidation of that. But it is important that if you're going to do a traveling thing and you want there to be encounters, you should curate it for what is going on. Very specifically, we just had a traveling thing where you were heading back. Yes, there was random encounters, but I very specifically built a chart of, these are the people who know you have this thing. This person would send this, or this. This person would send this, or this. And then I added in, if there was a random thing that would happen, but you guys hit the 2 combat ones, which, you did. But essentially, they're very specific to, these people were sent to you, that's why they're there. Not, I needed something to come up. Oh, yeah, okay, you're fighting gazers. But yeah, so there's that.
That's the gist, guys. If you need to spice it up and you're worried that your players aren't going to be engaged, curate specifically for the area that you're in and make it make sense and make it fit level.
Yes.
And no one's going to complain about it.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. Please let us know your experiences with travel in your TTRPG games. And if it's fun and good enough, we will showcase it on one of our episodes. No one has taken us up on that yet, so please do so.
I'm sure when they like, comment, and share this with their friends will have things to say.
You're right.
Oh, neat.
But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us for the OND DND talk show, where we talk about TTRPGs and how to make you play better, roll better, be stronger, get better, gold, equipment, gear, play, role play, do it, relationship trackers. I'm forever DM and roller of random encounters, Hunter.
The choice has made. The traveler has come.
Thank you all for joining us.
Hey there, dipshits. It's me, Joey, a.k.a. Slooty Mage.
I'm Hunter, voice of Hunter Taylor.
And I'm Carter, Geagle Eagle.
We're
Older and Dumber.
Every Friday, we drop wisdom, humor, and a whole lot of nonsense. You won't want to miss it.
Become a patron today for as low as $5 a month. Get early access to all our episodes and exclusive behind-the-scenes looks at all the things we're doing and May's super secret editing notes.
Shout out to all our awesome dipshits. Your support really helps keep this madness going.
Join the crew, be a dipshit. It's an exclusive club and you're invited.
So dipshits, mark your calendar every Friday for a dose of Older and Dumber craziness. See you there.
Fade to black. Now my stand. Fade to black.